The year was 1968, and this is where my abrupt introduction into the universe of the bizarre and the implausible would commence. I was currently employed to a defense contractor in New Hampshire by the name of Sanders Associates Incorporated, primarily a manufacturer of systems for tactical surveillance, intelligence, and aircraft self-protection. However, over the years we eventually expanded into other business areas such as the microwave oven and other commercial applications. Throughout the course of my service as an engineer for the corporation, I was involved in all different manner of projects, proposals, and branches of the company, until the fateful day when I met Mr. Ralph Baer, my latest project director. Ralph was an inventor, having worked at a small electronics company by the name of Laurel in the 1950s prior to his service with Sanders Associates Incorporated. During his time at Laurel, he was tasked to create quote-unquote the best television set in the world. Around this time, commercially speaking, the television was a relatively new appliance in the household. However, the potential influence it would have on our lives as humans and the way we would receive information cannot be overstated. Wanting to elevate the operations of the standard television to the next innovative stage, Ralph had a radical suggestion. His proposition? To attach a receiver to the television sets, adding to it a new form of interactive game. This proposition was immediately thrown out by his chief engineer, and it was not until 15 years later that his idea would come to any sort of fruition during his years at Sanders Associates. In December of 1966, Ralph demonstrated his video game concept to our company's corporate director to a successful review. Funds and various assets, such as myself, were assigned to Ralph's branch of research to expedite the creation of something commercial from this concept. I was primarily in charge of making sure the materials sent in for construction were of high fidelity, and to conduct minor supervisory tasks to make sure the production stayed on course. We were several prototypes into development when, well, procedures started to take a most bizarre turn of events.
Orendi, the Chaos Witch. Unhinged, unpredictable, and feared even by members of her own faction, Orendi channels bursts of chaotic energy to ravage her opponents at incredible speed, and seeks to test herself against the greatest challenges Solace has to offer. Entry 1. The Eyes Have You. It is with much frustration that I must submit this loss report and fleet insurance claim for one Ark Fleet frigate, trade vessel Byzantium. Upon FTL arrival in the solar system, the trade vessel detached itself from the Ark ship Nock 2 and set course for the detritus ring, with much haste and great expenditure of firepower. While sensor scans indicate no biological life inside, it is suspected that a recent extraction from Etra, a veromorph named Orendi the Chaos Witch, has found a way to circumvent these scanners and stolen the vessel. This suspicion is credited mainly to the graffiti etched in laser blasts on Nock 2, reading Orendi, WZ, here, next to a crude symbol best described as a stylized human eyeball inside a ball of black flame. The symbol has come to be associated with various acts of destruction and vandalism across the Nock 2 during the last several months of travel. Attempts to make contact with the Magnus or any of the minion robotics crew on board the Byzantium has resulted in a response of _NULL_LULZ. All contact with the ship was lost as it disappeared into the detritus ring. It is my recommendation that no pursuit be made at this time, as economic forecasting models indicate the net loss of the trade frigate to be far less than the projected losses should veromorph Orendi remain on the Ark ship Nock 2. Entry 2. That's a very nice hat trick. A data file made by Orendi while aboard the Nova. Contents of a data file stored on the veromorph Orendi's personal terminal on board the Nova. What's the name of my hat, you ask? Hat trick, hat witch, spat trick, dark witch, arm, harm arm, warm arm, shadow flinger, chaos bringer, pillar piler plier flyer. That's the name of my hat, you asked. Entry 3. Veromorphic pillars. An extraction report submitted to the Magna Carta by Magnus Patrick AA about the extraction of veromorphs from Etra 2. Top line. Following is the summation of the collaborative evacuation of the Etran system, in which members of the Last Light Consortium, Arkship WWIV, partnered with the Eldred to extract a most circumspect and eccentric backwater race, heretofore known as the Veromorph. Summary _Veromorph. Veromorph society is to be considered pre-industrial at best. However, the race has shown one of the most unique and inexplicable forms of adaptation we have encountered, which we'd recommend for study by the scientist of Arkship Sagagas. While little is to be said for Veromorph technology, their physiology is quite unique. As a species, the Veromorph possess the ability to intentionally, albeit slowly, adapt at a genetic level, including the ability to develop biological analogues of technological constructs they find. Indeed, in our weeks of evacuation, we rarely encountered two Veromorphs who took similar shape or form. Of traits which could be counted as similar, we list these: alternating dark and light-colored splooches on the skin, wiry dark hair, an utter lack of respect for any form of order or authority. Indeed, they are the most independent and rambunctious lot. Precautionary _report subject Orendi. Of the many Veromorph who were extracted, one younger member of the species, known simply as Orendi, has flagged warning entries in several psychological evaluation minions. Her behavior is best described as chaotic, wantonly destroying LLC property for the cackles. Her words, not ours. Moreover, this four-armed miscreant has readily adapted her form, assimilating the internal workings of A1 minion lasers into her hands, allowing her to control and channel energies more efficiently than the finely crafted weapons of minion robotics. Reportedly anyways. Frankly, I don't buy it. Psi-profiling leads us to believe her at very least capable of the possible criminal activities. Theft 1, Theft 2, Theft 3, ship, Theft 7, hijacking, vandalism, murder, slander, forgery, impersonation 1 through 5, and unsanitary handling of biological waste.
You focus on the wrong shit. Why these niggas talk shit? I pull out my car, then I pull up to the stars, bitch. She wanna go far shit. I be on my Mars shit. You know I be soaring. They see me, I be scoring.